Hey guys and gals, me Summer here, and welcome back to another episode of Insert Fun Title Here, where every week we uncover another mystery and expose the truths of the world. This week we're going to talk about a little site, not so little anymore, but I guess it's still rising, called Kalshi. Now some of you may have heard of Kalshi, and I mean really heard of it, as it seems to be getting shoved down our throats everywhere we look online. Yet some of you lucky few might never have heard of it. To catch us all up to speed, Kalshi is an online prediction market, one of the few of its kind. It came about in 2019, founded by some MIT grads, and gained regulatory approval in 2020. I'll talk a bit about it in a second, but after gaining approval, it grew steadily over the last few years and really exploded when it allowed sports betting earlier this year. Now, for how it works, Kalshi allows for the trading of predictions, from being able to I guess either a yes or no on a certain event. The events they allow on their site can be anything that gains traction. Trump winning the 2024 election, which they gained a lot of notoriety from to if the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, starts his speech with good evening. As long as it is a yes or no question, anything is allowed. As for how you actually bet, you buy options priced from $1 to 1 cent. Price corresponds with the market predictability of the event. So if the market believes a yes is 70% possible, it costs 70 cents. And if the market believes 30% possible, it costs 30 cents, and so on. If you win, you get $1, and if you lose, you get nothing. This means if you buy in at 10% odds, for example, and you win, you stand to make 90 cents for every dollar you put in. And if you lose, you lose all 10 cents you put in, or as many times as you bought the options. Of course, the astute among you might be wondering how Kalshi actually makes money from this, and as by charging a small fee on every win. Kalshi advertises itself from those annoying AI generated ads to many corporate sponsorships as a democratization of choice, as a way for your opinions to get out there and maybe make some money back. Who doesn't like the sound of that? Yet when you look at what they do, it looks less like a form of freedom for the common man and more like a little thing called gambling. Actually, a lot of you might have picked up on that, and so have many researchers, lawmakers, and many more people around the world. Yet since it is not technically gambling, it does not fall under the centuries of gambling laws in this nation, and instead is allowed to do whatever it wants. That is what Kalshi's real power comes from, not from making a revolutionary new form of expression, but actually from renaming and repackaging gambling for this new age. For some of you, might be wondering how Kalshi even gets away from skirting regulation and branding itself as a new technology. Well, to answer that, let's look back at a little bill called PASPA. It stands for the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act. This act, among many things, banned online sports betting until the Supreme Court, doing Supreme Court things, which many of us have gotten used to at this point, decided to strike it down and let the states decide. And I quote, following the 2018 repeal of PASPA, states rapidly began legalizing mobile sportsbooks, allowing companies to market directly to consumers via online platforms. I should also let you all know that, like always, my sources are down in the description if you want to learn more. They will be timestamped, so while you're down there, like, subscribe, and let's keep going. Following this act's repeal, states began to ban online sports betting one by one, and that's when the dream of Kalshi was born. While not technically gambling, the founders realized that the deregulation was occurring, and if they made a convincing enough argument, they could get around all the gambling regulations, do whatever you want. It also really helped that they got Eric Trump, the current president's son, on the board, which really allows them to do what they wanted. Few states feel they can regulate them, and as Kalshi has quoted, Kalshi operates in a regulatory gray area, available nationwide, even in states such as California and Texas, where online sports betting is illegal. Kalshi says its federal status means it doesn't need to abide by local regulations, such as restrictions limiting gambling to those 21 and older. End quote. Did I even mention that since it's not gambling, Kalshi allows 18-year-olds on their site, something other sites can't do since gambling is usually prohibited to those over 21. And with that fact that it's on your phone, in your face all day, which is a whole other topic I could go into, there's nothing stopping anyone from even being younger than 18 by taking someone else's ID, being able to log on and gamble. These laws are meant to protect the youngest of society, yet going around them, Kalshi is able to get people hooked very young. In fact, to hammer in how bad this is for the youth, research finds that, quote, adolescents who reported gambling before age 18 were twice as likely to meet criteria for gambling problems later in life. And and another quote, early access prior to age 18 to sports betting predicts a 2 to 3% 2 to 3 times higher chance of addiction by adulthood. We limit gambling to those above 21, above the age where society deems their brains developed enough for a reason. In the past, we learned that people exposed young get hooked and they get addicted and they are negatively affected. Yet the ads, endorsements, glamorous lifestyle depicted on online content showcases a different life. A life a young person might want living, in turn becomes a trap that they fall victim to. And it's not just young people. For anyone caught by gambling or prediction markets, as Kalshi coin, is affected. I got more data for y'all as studies have found financial harm was the most commonly reported consequence, with 68% of active users, 68%, experiencing increased debt within 2 years of app-based gambling. That's not made up to discredit Kalshi. That's reality. More than $2.5 billion of sports contracts were traded in Kalshi just this September. That's just sports related, and just this September when Kalshi really started blowing up because it only allowed sports betting earlier this year. It's only going to get bigger and bigger, destroying life after life. And that makes you wonder why? Why is this being pushed on us? Again, Kalshi gives the same answers as always: democratized speech. An Elon Musk esque quote, if you had ever really heard one. Yet at the end of the day, it's for one reason: money. I quote, major betting platforms experienced record profits in 2023, with a 40% increase following app-based access expansion. That was 2 years ago. Another quote that haunts me is that many states have legalized sports betting. As of May 2025, live sports betting is legal in at least 37 states, with 31 states allowing sports betting on cell phones and other electronic devices via apps. The regulated sports betting market in America brought in over $13.7 billion in revenue in 2024, with online and mobile revenue accounting for over $10 billion of that. That's the end of the quote. Yet, well, for those in charge of these apps, rake in billions and billions of dollars in profit each year, while the poorest among us have to suffer. Low income young males have been identified as the highest risk demographic, reporting the highest loss levels. And it's not just males who are disproportionately affected. Everyone is affected. Anyone who can hear this amazing new technology of this brand new thing called Kalshi can try it and fall victim. They try thinking they're getting their voices heard and to make a little bit of money on the side, because deep down we all know that we are right and that others must be wrong. Our opinions is what we believe in, and by subjecting itself to our opinions, Kalshi can make a profit off of that. Yet at the end of the day, it's just gambling. Gambling in a new name and new form. Kalshi has exploded onto the scenes recently, and it is unknown what its entire effects will be on society. There is a reason gambling laws existed, so it's only a matter of time. Eventually, regulation will have to catch up. But till then, people will be hurt and lives will be ruined. The best I can do, any of us can really do, is get the word out there, spread the message, and keep people informed. Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Insert Fun Title Here. And I was your host, Summer, and I'll catch up with you all next time. Bye bye.